Let's now take a concrete AI agent example. An agent that processes an email, creates a quotation or a sales order, and then replies with a confirmation. This is exactly the kind of workflow that looks simple on the surface, but really needs two-layer validation. And before the demo starts, one general remark applies here as well. Whenever we work with test data in Int4 Suite, that assumes that Int4 Suite robotic crawlers have already prepared the test case database. That prepared reference base is essential for both soft validations context and the hard SAP backend comparison. Let's go to the demo. Let's imagine we want to test our AI agent, which will process an email message, create a quotation or an order, and later on reply whether the sales order is created. What we want to do in Int4 Suite is to create a test case on that basis. So here I have already created test cases, and let me show you what's inside. If we select the test case and go into the details, one of the most important parts would be the request. This is where I would store the email. It specifies who the email is from, the subject, the order itself. For example, I would like to order Star chocolate chip cookies, how many of them, and where they should be shipped. Apart from that, we can define two levels of validations. The first would be soft validations. So here in the query itself, I can specify checks as, does the response contain the order number? And is the answer written in a positive tone? These are useful, but they are not enough. The second layer are hard validations. In the document itself, I can attach a database validation rule set, which will check the SAP document tables and verify that the backend data was propagated correctly. So now let's go back to the automation object, to the API tester cockpit, and run this test case. What the system will do is it will take this email, send it directly to the agent, let the agent, for example, SAP Joule agent, process the message, create the sales order, and then validate both what the agent returned and what was actually created in SAP S/4HANA system. Now, let's look at the result. We can see technical information like processing time and endpoint execution, but the key thing is the validation result. First, the soft validations passed correctly, and the AI agent returned a quote number or an order number, and the answer is as expected in a positive tone. But that alone is not enough. The most important part is the hard validation, the SAP backend document validation. Here we can see that the new document number was actually created, and we're checking its fields against the original reference document created from the same email. If I display the reference document, I can see that the fields are exactly the same, apart from the expected differences, such as dates or time. And that is the real proof. Only when I combine those two layers, the soft validation and the SAP backend table validation, I can say with confidence that the AI agent is working correctly. And because this test case is now reusable, I can run it again and again, schedule it, and continuously validate that the workflow still behaves correctly over time.